Think of the last time you were cornered in a debate by someone who was loud, entirely certain of their position, and completely wrong. While they hammer away at their points, you likely find yourself reevaluating your own argument, weighing the evidence, and looking for details you might have missed. Most people write off this aggressive, unyielding behavior as a personality flaw. However, psychological research suggests this specific combination of high certainty and low logic is a measurable sign of a specific cognitive deficit. This creates a cognitive closed loop, a psychological system that traps unequipped minds in a permanent cycle of ignorance. Viewing these interactions through the lens of this loop changes the dynamic. You are no longer losing an argument. You are witnessing a clinical diagnosis of intellectual deficiency. The human brain is an information processing system that requires specific tools to accurately perceive reality. The first step is the Dunning-Kruger Effect, a cognitive bias where people with limited competence overestimate their ability. The knowledge required to perform a task is the same knowledge required to recognize poor performance. Without this, unearned confidence becomes default. The loud volume they use in an argument is the primary symptom of an unequipped mind compensating for blind spots it cannot see. An unequipped mind faces a survival problem when confronted with a complex reality contradicting its views. To protect its confidence, the brain activates a defense mechanism called cognitive rigidity. This is an inability to mentally adapt to new information or different perspectives. Processing nuance requires significant cognitive power, seen in the multi-node network. Low-intelligence individuals bypass this heavy load via black-and-white thinking. This simplistic binary pathway cannot handle fluid variables, so a rigid mind relies exclusively on raw volume to shut down conversation. This stubbornness is a biological firewall built to protect them from information they cannot compute. Eventually, a rigid, uninformed worldview will inevitably crash into a reality that it cannot ignore or shout down. Accepting fault in these moments is impossible for them, as it requires a capacity for self-reflection they do not possess. The loop concludes with an external locus of control, the belief that outside forces are responsible for all outcomes. They project blame outward, providing an escape hatch. Redirecting blame removes personal responsibility, immediately resetting their baseline of false confidence. The closed loop is consistent. Ignorance creates certainty. Rigidity blocks new data, and external blame erases failure. In practice, actual intelligence looks quite different from this defensive loop. High intelligence is often quiet. It is comfortable with ambiguity and operates with an internal locus of control that takes personal accountability for mistakes. If you frequently question your own conclusions or feel imposter syndrome, you are using the mechanisms of a high-functioning mind. Logic has no impact on a closed, self-sustaining cognitive system. Instead, true intellectual superiority is found in the situational awareness to simply smile, recognize a deficit, and walk away.